And I think it's very important for everybody to be engaged because that everybody's on the same page.
It's about, who's willing to change gears at the right time.
Go out, go have fun, and just take it to them.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler. It's time for another edition of the Ben Healy Show. Currently joined by Wheeling University head track and field coach Ben Healy. And Ben, guys, get the season started off at the Marty Pushkin Invitational. You had 2 individual champions, a bunch of top 5 finishes. Talk about the first outdoor meet overall and what you saw.
Yeah, it was really exciting to get to the first outdoor meet and, have these performances. Again, switching from indoor to outdoor with the weather change and everything is, always can be complicated. So kind of going into it with the mindset of, this is just a way to start the season. And then finishing with those results, was really exciting for these athletes and everything. To have those performances, really big confidence booster in the beginning of the season and everything. So it was really nice. The team had a great time. The weather actually was great. And just the culture that the team brings to those meets and everything is great. So yeah, exciting.
And you had a ton of PRs across the 2 days. How big was that to see these young athletes going, most of them competing their first outdoor event, to set PRs right away?
Yeah, it was really exciting. Again, definitely a confidence booster for these young athletes, to just get into these new events, college events and everything, and be having PRs, but know that the training is still progressing and that they're, going to get better, continue to get better as they just get the experience in these outdoor events and everything. It's really exciting and really motivational for them and everything.
And on the men's side, you got things started right away. Felix Magnani hits the Provo mark in the javelin on Friday. Talk about Felix and kind of his growth throughout the year.
Yeah, Felix has great energy. He has been putting work in since last year. He redshirted and everything. And has been dying for this first meet and everything. So, to get him into jav and everything and to throw as well as he did, we were really excited. He had a great time, threw really well early on in his throws, and then had some fun with it in finals and everything. Finals there was rain, so he was, just having fun with it and enjoying the competition and everything. But it was, really rewarding to see that the hard work has paid off for the past year and a half getting to this point.
And on the women's side, led by the jumper group, Autumn King, Autumn Kirshner, both had big days in the high jump. Talk about those two and kind of how they're meshing together.
Yeah, they do really well. Being at a meet, with the two of them, again, both Autumns, both Autumn Ks, it's confusing, but they both have great energy. Autumn King will hit a little celebration dance after every jump she clears and everything. Autumn Kirshner gets off and always has something to say and is always looking to do better. But then they come right over, they're supporting each other. They come talk to myself or, my grad assistant, Joey, who is more the high jump guy and everything. And they're just locked in all the time.
Currently joined by Wheeling University head track and field coach Ben Healy. And Ben, guys getting a chance to see a lot of the conference this week, going up to West Liberty. Now that you've seen the competition field for the conference championship, how big is it going to be to get to see those conference opponents?
Yeah, it'll be exciting, trying to get just the idea of, seeing the results and everything and online is totally different than actually going up against someone. So for, our runners to race against these guys in an outdoor meet, on a 400-meter track and everything, just a different viewpoint from the indoor season and everything, and exciting to see that kind of change that they'll take to there. On the field event side, again, now we have all the elements, wind being a big factor in all of them. So, just I know our team has been practicing a lot with the elements and, getting used to it. So for them to, again, just have another confidence booster of going up against these other teams, seeing how they deal with, the weather and the just the circumstances of outdoor and everything. Just excited to see what that does for their confidence, moving forward.
And you guys heading up to West Liberty, obviously the big rival for Wheeling, West Lib. Talk about some of the competition you're going to see this weekend and kind of how you're going to look to improve.
Yeah, so we definitely, one in the distance events, we got some guys, the 800 guy that will give Magnus some work and everything. Yeah, and then, through the sprints, the hurdles, events, and everything, this will also be Fenn's multi, so she'll get to see some of the, the multis from West Lib and some other conference schools as well. Again, just kind of, exciting for the team to have that rivalry and, to be able to go against these athletes and everything.
And finally, as this season continues in outdoor, talk about some of the training that you guys are going to do to keep getting those numbers up, keep getting those PRs up as you get ready for conference.
Yeah, so now it's become the end of our kind of competition block of training and everything, or I guess the beginning of our competition block of cycling training and everything. And really it's just focusing on, performance at this point. Training looks like top end speed work, race replication work. All the base work has been done through the season, through the fall, through the indoor season and everything. And now it's just execution kind of stuff. So, in the field event work, it's, a lot of practice at, high jump and pole vault at bars, the jumps, long jump and everything at the pit and everything. Just making sure that we are, replicating competition scenarios in practice so that, nothing will surprise us at meets.
Thanks, Ben. Good luck this week. Can't wait to see you out there.
Yeah. Thanks, Zach. Appreciate it.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler.
And I think it's very important for everybody to be engaged because that everybody's on the same page.
It's about, who's willing to change gears at the right time.
Go out, go have fun, and just take it to them.